Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Time for a day after the game stream just to see how everyone's doing. We was all down yesterday, and looking at a couple of comments that are already in the chat, people are still a bit down. But look, it's always about finding solutions, and all we are as fans. It's up to Daniel Farke to find the solutions, but all we can do is talk about what we would do. That's all we can do. At the end of the day, it's up to Daniel Farke. It's up to the players, especially, to implement plans in order to get us out of this slump. Because we are bereft of confidence right now. We are down in the dumps. But we have over a week until the Middlesbrough game, and I've just picked out a few things that Daniel Farke could work on in the meantime in order to prepare for that game and for the remaining other games that we have in the season. 3 games left, people. Before I do that, please like the video. That really does help out the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop your comments and thoughts below. Thank you to William Morrison, Keely Bannister, Wraith Hart, and Mr. P for the super thanks on the match reaction. Beautiful to see all the interaction on there. And thank you to Ben W, who's become a new member of the channel, almost up to a decent figure on the membership. So if you haven't already and you like to support in that way, membership link is in the description. It just goes a long way for me. Now, Richard, hi KG, Farke could not lift a bag of sweets. And Chris Kingy, who's Farke's #1 hater. Anyone joining me yet on the Farke out train? Think I need more carriages the way things are going. And I understand all of that, people. But the thing is, what you have to understand is we have to live in reality. And the reality is Leeds United aren't sacking Daniel Farke with 3 games to go. So what you have to do now is, what would you do? And if he doesn't do it, then we'll talk about it at the end of the season and what we would do in the summer if it comes to keeping Daniel Farke or letting him go and going somewhere else. That's what we have to do. That's what I have to do anyway. It's a content creator. I can't just go with all the problems and give you no solutions, because that's not helping anybody. I'll let you guys do that. Chris S, I'm struggling to see Farke has got the tools to get this done now. There's a couple of tools I'm about to bring up that are so simple, but they're so effective in how you get extra out of this team. So simple, it's unbelievable. But I'm gonna do that in a bit. Yeah, sounding better. Thank you, man. I'm trying. Gonna have some ginger, hot water, lemon, and honey after this stream. So hopefully it speeds it up. Lee, has the football ever looked good under Farke, or am I just letting the last few games cloud my judgment? No, Lee, the football has been okay, but it's when it was working. And this is another thing that we're speaking about today. It's about deviating from your tactic of Somerville, Jorginho, and hope for the best. It's about mixing it up, because we have to. Teams have sussed it out. So you have to go with a different plan, especially at this stage of the season. Ryan, the missus says, I listen to you more than her. Tremendous. Oh, man. Oh, man. Tremendous, man. So look, listen, this is why I say what I say. Everyone yesterday in the comments, and I want to address another comment, actually. I'm not going to bring it up because the person's picture's on there, but this wasn't the only person to bring it up. There was a lot of, this team isn't ready for the Premier League. Now, there's a word I want to use for that, but it's Sunday, so I'm going to keep it clean. But it's Captain Obvious in stating that. And I would hope that on this channel it would be a bit more in depth than just saying that this team isn't ready for the Premier League. Of course it isn't. But at the same time, neither is Leicester, neither is Ipswich by a mile, and neither is Southampton. None of these teams are ready for the Premier League. But it's about what you do when you get there. What do you add? What are you able to attract to your club once you get to the Premier League? Now, listen, if we go up and this is the team, I'm with you 100%. But, if you're going to make a statement like that, please add a caveat unless you add to this team, because there is some Premier League quality there, but you do need to add. And I thought that was pretty obvious, but people just saying this team isn't ready for the Premier League, like Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are also ready. Nobody's ready, but it's about what you do when you get there. Just wanted to address that before I carried on. But look, again, we're talking about top 2. It's still there, people. Ipswich yesterday could only manage a draw at home. So we are still in the race by hook or crook. We are still in with a shout. And I remember when there was 5 games to go for both us and Ipswich, and saying, if Ipswich win all 5 of their games, fair play, they deserve to go up. But we are at the stage now where everybody between the 3 are tripping up, cannot get a run together of wins. It's not happening. So we are still within a shout of the top 2, no matter what you think. So it's still possible to get there. Um, and David, what we all know what we need for the Prem. Yeah, and actually, while I was ill, I was going to do a couple of those videos, and seeing as we got a week to focus on things, even though I'd have preferred to probably do them while I was in the top two, but this will actually give me a different perspective of what people think about certain things. So stay tuned to the channel next week because I will be putting out content there. Um, Paul saying we played twice before Ipswich kick a ball. Absolute must beat Borough and QPR. Put a 4 point gap over them, and every chance they drop points against Hull or Coventry. Yeah, there's just so many twists and turns to go, people. So many, and we could end up in the top two. And I don't care how we do it at this stage. Let's just get there because hey, the playoffs. I don't know, bro. And I was confident about the playoffs, even if we reach the playoffs. But you've seen over the past few games, the team are starting to feel that pressure, what the crowd are putting on them. And I thought that the team was probably going to be a little bit stronger than that. But I've seen, especially over the last two games, when the crowd have been sighing or something, and this isn't on the crowd, by the way, this is on the players. Let me make that clear. They're starting to rush things. They're starting to do things that they wouldn't usually do. So I don't know. We'll see how it is. But a tense Ellen Road for a semi-final playoff. I don't know, man. I don't know. Allison, no, we have bottled it again. Okay, look, let's get into it then. Okay. And Brian, our team has crashed. Whoa. Good night, people. Good night. Now let's get into it, people. So I'll put up the table in a bit. Let me get rid of that one. Done that one. What shall I go with first? Because these are glaring things here. All right, let's go with this one first. It's a comment that Daniel Farke made, and it's something that he has said before. Um, on picking her players up, we have enough time to pick them up and work on the training pitch. It's not up to me to always be there with a hug around the shoulder, but I can't question their worth ethic. It's also not the moment to punish them. Now, we've heard this before from him in terms of what he says about that not punishing them. He's talked about Bamford before, not to criticize him. The only thing I would hope is that behind the scenes that he is doing that and he is pointing out where players are going wrong. Because I liken it to this, and if anyone knows what I'm talking about, you'll know where I'm going with this. If you've ever had a manager at your job and all through the year you're thinking, am I doing this right? Or could I be doing a bit more? Or is there something I could do better? But your manager doesn't pull you up at any time to talk to you. So you think, okay, I must be doing all right. I must be doing okay. But then comes the end of the year review, and all of a sudden he's saying, you know what, you could have done this more for the team. You could have done this a bit better. And you're like, hey, if you just told me through the year, I could have done that and I could have improved what I was doing. So if you know what I'm talking about there, you know exactly what I mean. I only hope that he is actually telling players what he needs more from, because every player right now, it's not just your usual suspects. It's a lot of them. A lot of them are not performing to their best ability. And I would only hope that he is actually pointing out to the players, I need this from you. When you've got the ball here, I need you to look for the best option. Don't just do this. Don't just run here. I hope that he's doing that. So if he isn't, he needs to do that, people. Um, Next one, and I'm going to go to the other one in a bit, but this is another one which is damning. These two things coming up are just prime real estate when it comes to goals, especially in this league. This is from Phil Hayes' article. Between them, he's talking about the central midfielders here. The Farkas four recognized central midfielders have not scored one league goal. You've already missed out probably 8 to 10 goals there, where we're adding to our total and probably adding to our points total at different times where we've probably drawn games. That is damning. Now listen, Gruev, Ampadu, they're not goal scorers. I understand that. But there's other defensive midfielders that have chipped in with 1, 2 goals. That's the difference you talk about. It's small margins, fine margins in order to get that extra point or extra 2 points at this point in time that could get us into the top two. Oh, sorry, extra point, because our goal difference is better than Leicester's. Small margins like that. And listen to this one, people. Gray, blah, 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 blah. But the numbers show very limited attacking output all round. A combined 11 shots on target amongst those 4 players. You ain't getting nowhere with that. That is appalling. That is absolutely appalling. Brian here feels like the bad old days when we could never score. Yeah. And this is it. We're shot shy at the minute. We're goal shy. that in itself can get you up the table. That can get you those 3 points. We've seen it already with Ipswich. Morsy's not a goal scoring midfielder by any stretch of the imagination, but he's come up for Ipswich in clutch moments, last minute winners, last minute equalizers, and got them goals when their strikers haven't been able to do it. It's a different kind of thing. And Darren here, even if they don't take shots, they never get in position to score. That is tactical. That is tactical when you've got two defensive midfielders and you're expecting Somerville to run through three, Jorginho to run through three, then slot it through. You're not getting in positions to even shoot. When was the last time we saw Ethan Ampadu put one over the bar? Remember near the start of the season, it was like Ampadu watch and seeing him just put them over the bar every week. Then he got did he score against Peterborough? And then ever since then, it seems like none of our central midfielders are having a shot. Should be rested. But this is the other thing, Elmi and everyone else. We've got 8 days until the next game. And then even then, after that one, we've got 4 days, I think, till QPR. We play Monday against Middlesbrough, Friday against QPR. That's more than enough time for recovery. At this stage of the season, you go by adrenaline, you go by the rush of what is at stake. That's more than enough time. There's no resting. They've got a big rest coming up. They've got over 8 days. So we play our very best team that we can on Monday. Let's have a look here. T85 saying Gray's form in midfield after spending so much time at right back is like what happened to Pascal after spending all of last season at left back under Jesse and Rad's orders, and then his form was shot when moved back. Man, some punctuation there, please. Break it up for me. But I know what you're saying. But in terms of Gray, I did say I'm an advocate of putting him in midfield, but I do think maybe he may be a little bit tired. And it's not a surprise. He's 17. And that is where age does come into it, is that the adrenaline runs off. You do have to manage him a bit better. And he's played a lot of football, not just at Leeds United level, at international level. He's moved up as well. He's not just playing for the under-19s. He's at the under-21s level. And he's played intense football all season long with very little rest. But I don't know. Maybe this 8 days will re-energize him and he'll be good to go in the next game. I would think that would be more than enough for him. In fact, so I want to see him back in the team. I do, because we don't really have another creative source in that midfield option that we have. But this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying in terms of when people say about the January window and why do you give it such a low rating? It's because then if you haven't got everything you need, which we didn't, it's then up to the coach to coach. That's what they get paid for. You can't retrospectively go back to the window if you go up and say, actually, the window is 10 out of 10. Well, then what does that mean for the coach? Did the coach not do nothing? And this is what I'm talking about here. You've got to utilize your assets better. Yeah, Nabino, rotation has been very strange this entire season. What rotation? There is no rotation, Nabino, and that's the problem. That's the other thing he's got to fix. It's ad nauseum with this, but he's got to give the substitutes more than 8 minutes. They are not going to do anything in 8 minutes. And then for him to come out in a press conference and say, yeah, he's got 15 appearances, 1 goal. Don't be disingenuous with that. So yeah, that's it. And Mike, Segway King, corners and set pieces are just a joke. Well, this is the one. Courtesy of LUFC data, and prepare yourself for this one, people. It's a rough one. It's a rough one, so get ready. Leeds last scored directly from a corner in the Championship versus Ipswich on December 33rd. We've taken 131 corners since then. Wow. The thing is, I knew it was bad, and we've been speaking about it on here, haven't we? We've been trying to rack our brains. When was the last time we scored directly from a corner? Go and watch Championship highlights, people, up and down the table. Doesn't matter where you look, top of the table, bottom of the league. Set piece goals are bread and butter in this division. And the fact that we haven't scored one since then is damning. And the thing is, it's not like we don't have real men back there to nod one in. Ampadu is capable. I would have thought Joe Rodon would have been a bit more capable. I know we've missed Pascal Struijk. in that area to do it. I've always backed Pascal to get 4 to 5 a season with his aerial prowess. But the fact that no one else is picking up the slack, Byram, come on. Wow. Yeah, Darren, of the 131, we've probably connected with less than 10 of them. Yeah, a lot of them go to the first man or just get floated up into the goalkeeper's arms. We are horrible at set pieces, but this is bad. Do you know how many goals we've missed from not capitalizing on over 130 corners? You're talking, wow, at least 10, and I'm probably being generous with 10. So that is something else they've got to work on in this week. Who can whip in a ball with some manipulation instead of just floating it in the air or just putting it to the front? Who can work on one where you play it short into the box, have someone running in and shooting? Can you do something different besides what we've seen so far? Because I don't know about you people. Whenever I see us get a corner, I expect absolutely nothing from it. It's like seeing Bamford on the pitch. I don't expect him to score. But if you get something, cool. I don't expect anything from set pieces, free kicks being taken. I don't expect anything from them. Yeah, we do. That's exactly it. We lack a set piece taker. Yep. Um. uh, it's Oh no, I see Alioski's name. No. We've had 25 corners in 2 games and not looked like scoring from any of them. Yeah, none. Yeah, something different. Just try something different. And this is what I'm saying. Farke has got to do this week. I know he's talked about, and again, we have to go by what Farke says. Don't change your plan so late in the season. It's a recipe for disaster, and that is sometimes that is true. But right now, we are not in good form at all. We are not in good form, people. Let me just get the table up. 1 win in the last 5, and we're talking about playing teams. Again, Coventry yesterday got bucked by Birmingham City. The game before that, they got beat easily by Southampton. But what did they do the game before that? They beat Leeds United. The every game is different. I know that. But Blackburn being beaten 5-0 in midweek, then coming to undefeated Ellen Road and winning 1-0. No, no, it's us. We are the problem. It's this team. This is the problem right now. Confidence, lack of ideas. Everything needs sorting out. And then let's just get to the obvious thing with Daniel Farke. Make the right subs at the right time. Do that because he actually did make them at the right time yesterday. Give him credit, but he made the wrong ones. And it's almost like he giveth with this hand, then taketh with the other. You know what I mean? It's like he gets one thing, but he's like, oh, why do you do that? Stop relying on the same people to try and give you something. Stop giving Jaden Anthony 2 minutes. What a waste of a loan. But I said that from time. My stats hasn't changed on the Jaden Anthony thing. We went in with that Sinistera deal looking like we was getting fleeced. So they said, please, we need to leave with something. Instead of leaving with a fullback, we left with another winger that has been hardly used this season through different reasons as well. He's had that bereavement issue, of course. But even Daniel Farke wasn't using him before then as well. We just went with the wrong thing. Daniel, Ryan here. I hate this league so much. You listen. You know how I feel, Ryan. This league sucks. This league sucks. And just another thing on set pieces before anyone like looks down on them. Arsenal in the Premier League are trying to win a league. They're top of the league for set piece goals. They're not a dirty thing. I don't know why people think set pieces are so dirty. They are a fundamental in football. Always have been. Yeah, Steve taking on to off was madness. Our most potent attacker. Yeah, what was it like 70 minutes or something? Man, I think Nanto could have gone for a bit longer. He was our most dangerous attacker easily. I said it yesterday on the match reaction. He was our most dangerous attacker, and he gets taken off. I didn't understand it. I didn't. Maybe Connor Roberts is a different thing. Maybe he could only last that long after his injury. But Connor Roberts was our best defender as well. It was insane yesterday. It was insane. He must have heard the subs things and then thought, all right, well, I'll do this then, and messed it up. Yeah, Chopper Dave is playing not to lose, always comes back to bite you. Yeah. But the thing was, in Chopper Dave and everyone else, what we did in the end when he did the old football manager tactic of putting on all the attackers was he played to win, forgetting that a point is better than losing. Because Blackburn don't score that if we keep our shape. Our shape had gone. Roden was up the pitch where he should not have been. You know, everyone was there was so many gaps. Dolan to Schmadix. He went for the win and it bit him. It absolutely bit him. But that is not a tactic, people. That is hoping for the best when you just throw on all your attackers and hope they win. You know, like another football manager thing. If he wants to play football manager, put on shoot on site. You know, do that one. Football manager players will know what I'm talking about there. But yeah, he's just got to fix some of the details in this team. It's as simple as that, people. We need the top two at this point. I can't. The playoffs for me it's such a crapshoot. I just don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Lord Sheargraph. Nanto was a threat. Gruev made us secure. Gruev was brilliant yesterday in terms of cleaning up the mess that we were making. Of course, we're going to lose possession when we're on the attack. That's going to happen. There was some sloppy balls being played as well. Gruev was mopping it up like he was pre his injury before the international duty. It was like the Gruev from January to early March. But it was wrong to take him off, man. Um, Back of the net saying leaving the ground yesterday was like leaving a funeral. Keeps bringing us back in though with all the top teams stumbling. Still think it goes to the wire, yeah. And that's what I would say. I know a lot of people think we're gonna have to settle for the playoffs, and I do understand that with the way that we've been playing. But I would also say if we were out of it that much, we wouldn't just be 1 point behind Leicester and 2 behind Ipswich if it was that bad. There is still an avenue for us to get our act together in the next 2 games, put the pressure back on Ipswich to do something major, and we could still finish top 2. I'm not counting us out until it's over because it seems like everyone's tripping over not to make this top 2 right now. That's how it feels anyway. Um, let's have a look here. T85 saying, I can see Parag putting pressure on improving set pieces. The set pieces disaster class, sorry, over the summer, regardless of what league we're in, and hopefully other on-pitch shortcomings. Yeah, listen, we don't know what the 49ers are like. We all know that they're data driven. We don't know to what extent at the football level, meaning our level, not the American football level. So we will see exactly what happens in the summer. I actually can't wait in many ways. I want to see what league we're in, hopefully Premier League, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they're about. We'll see if they're going to back everything with wise signings. I don't mean spending a lot of money. We've done that. Spent 190 million, got relegated. It's not about what you spend, it's what you spend it on. And that's always been the key. Look at Chelsea right now. Look at how Brighton have operated. It's how you spend your money. And I want to see the kind of signings they're going to do. But more importantly, I want to see who they're going to let go in the summer. Because anyway, we'll go into that next week. I want to speak about certain players next week on next week's video. So please join me for them. Guy Fawkes, this is another thing. Could Southampton nick a top 2 finish? Well, look, Southampton have got games in hand, and I've always said points over the games in hand all day long. Obviously the worry is that they win their 2 games, draw level with us, where they're at 6 points. Yep, but we got a better goal difference. But then it's that game at Ellen Road. Now, look, that game on Ellen Road could have the top 2 on the line, or it could just be the battle of who finishes where in the playoff race. That's it. You know, there's 2 connotations for that game. So let's just wait and see. But Southampton have got to play those games in hand first. So let's see how they get on in those games, first of all. But yeah, listen, they've won the last 2. And Tom Cleverley said something yesterday, the Watford manager, about there's hundreds of millions on the line for Ipswich, Leicester, and Leeds. I always find those things funny when teams concede at last minutes, because first of all, it's a minimum of whatever it is, 6 minutes. Minimum means it can be 6 minutes or more. I don't know why in football that always gets confused. Again, maybe it's because I'm too much of a deep thinker. Maybe that's what it is. But also, you could still clear your lines. You know, you could defend until that very last second, till the referee blows his whistle. And I'm not sure why he was so concerned about Ipswich, Leicester, and Leeds' hundreds of millions. Very strange from Tom Cleverley. Paul here, what do you see happening in playoffs? Not at this moment, Paul. while the top two window is in play, I'm gonna say that we've got a chance of getting top two, but the team, it's quite evident the team has to buck up their ideas, has to find a different way of playing, has to be more effective with the ball, quick passes, shoot with a bit more vigor, shoot without trying to walk it in the net, which is being very frustrating, and find another tactic besides Somerville taking on three people and whipping it in the far corner, and Jorginho bulldozing his way through three players and slipping it through to somebody. Has to change. Mateo Joseph has to start. But we're not going to see that. So don't go on about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, listen, people, that is it. I think that is it. Let me just see. Is that what I've got? I think that is it. That is it for the show today, people. That is it. So I just wanted to give those points and just show you, just simple things that this team can do to help get goals. And they are just so simple. It's just that we make everything look more difficult than it actually is. Really, that is what is happening right now. So, people, I hope you've enjoyed today. If you're watching the replay, please hit a like as well. If you're in the chat now, please hit a like if you haven't already. Give me your thoughts and comments below. And guys, I will see you in the week. No, in the week, I should say. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people. Peace out.